Welcome to the floor where I have another one of these kits. It looks like I'm starting over the last DIY I made with it, but I'm actually not. I've got that blanket. It's actually like right here. You can see I've got a full blanket, but I wanted to do something with the scrap yarn because I ended up buying 2 kits to make the blanket the size I wanted. And so I've got half and a lot of the yarn left, and I want to do something with it. And I thought, why not make a poof to match with the blanket, so it'll be like a little set, because when I sit on this little beanbag couch thingy that I've got, I like to stretch my legs out, and it's not really fun to just put them on the floor. So I thought this would be perfect. I believe it's the same stitch as the blanket. Also, to fill the poof, I've just got a bunch of random scrap fabric. I'm hoping this will be enough for it, and I'm also hoping there will be no gaps because I'm choosing to do it a little bit tighter. I'm like pulling invisible string, but essentially making the loops smaller, so like 2 fingers worth instead of like whatever I did for the blanket to make it so it's like bigger holes. Let's go ahead and get started. I believe we just start with a chain essentially, or with the slip stitch. So let's start off with that. Actually, you do want 10 feet of yarn before the slip stitch so that you can weave the end after you make it, so that you can tighten the bottom, I guess, or the top, whichever one it ends up being. I'm following a tutorial that uses much thicker yarn, and so I'm kind of worried that I might have to adjust my measurements, but like the blanket took only a couple of hours, I don't think this is going to take that long. So even if I have to adjust, it won't be that bad of an adjustment. So there's my slip stitch. So now I am going to take this side of the yarn and untangle it because bane of my existence. But essentially, we're going to start the like chain process. And so this is the tail, this is that. I want these to all be 2 fingers width, so 2 inches essentially, because they're going to be at the bottom, so you want them a little bit tighter. And so what I'm going to do is with this end of the yarn, I'm going to loop over, and then I'm going to pull this through and then tighten it, right? Tighten. And so because you can only have a few loops at a time, I'm going to have to do it and then like do the next one, pull it through, tighten it, and then let go of one loop and then move on to the other one so that I can measure these properly. So I'm just going to repeat that a 50 bajillion times. I'll be repeating it 20 times, so I'll be back once it's done. Predictions were right. I definitely have to accommodate my measurements for this because this would be the little tiniest poof. So the yarn is definitely a lot smaller than hers. So I think I'm just gonna go to 40 because I've got about like 5 feet's worth left. So I'm guessing it's about half the size of hers, or my stitches are a lot tighter. But in the tutorial, she like made a very big emphasis on making sure the loops were super tight. And that tension is essentially how you like make the poof more of a poof. So making them pretty accurate is what I'm doing, to the point where my fingers are turning blue. But hey, anything for the crochet, right? Anyway, so I'm just gonna go through and do about 20 more. This is what it's looking like now. It's a wreath, which is normal. It's supposed to be a wreath. Keeps like twisting and turning, so I'm gonna have to like be very careful with my next loops. But for the first round, I guess, because this was our chain, I'm just gonna go in, and apparently I used the slip stitch too. So what I'm gonna do is, that's my long end. I'm just gonna put her to the side. For this end right here, I'm gonna untangle for the 50th bajillionth time, toss it over there. I want it to be coming through here so that I can loop it through this left side, which is the rest of the chains. I'm gonna put my 2 fingers in this one right here, and then I'm gonna pull this back through, put it here, just tug it tight. So that's 1 stitch. So I'm just gonna do that for the rest of all of these. I ended up doing 50 loops, so take that as you will. I'm just gonna do this 50 times. I did notice that this one loop, the first one, is one to be aware of because it is attached to this. So just making sure it doesn't get undone. I'm just gonna keep doing this until I'm done. I made a few findings while doing this. Okay, first off, I got very, very, very lucky because I didn't unwind it completely before I started, but it ended up working out to where all of the stitches point out. So I got very lucky there. The second thing, remember I told you that first stitch would undo itself, or at least that's what the video told me? Yeah, it did. It undid itself. Thankfully, it was only one stitch and then I caught it. I got lucky there, so what I ended up doing was sticking this yarn through that loop. Row 1 done. So now what I'm going to do is go into row 2 and just keep going with the 2 finger width. I stick my finger into 2. I want to make sure I grab this one because I realized if you tug too hard on this one, it will undo this one from back here. So you want to make sure to always have 2 or 3 if you can fit them. But you can see I'm just going to loop this through the other stitch, pull it tight, drop this one, stick my 2 fingers into here, and then repeat it again, sticking it through the next loop, pulling it through, tucking that, dropping 1, and just keep going. Bringing you live for an intermission because I ran out of yarn. So I think what I'm gonna do is what I did for the blanket. It's just tie the 2 ends together like I would shoelaces or a knot or whatever, and then just pulling really, really tight, and then I will cut off. I matched the blanket today. I just realized, these will be going inside the pouf. So I'm going to keep all the scraps because I am going to need them because looking at that bag, it probably isn't going to be enough. So I'm probably going to have to sacrifice some clothes too. What is this monstrosity, you ask? She is the pouf. I tried to tighten the circle because I realized it was pretty wide and I was worried about it. So I was like, let me just try to see this before I continue with the rounds. And sure enough, no, it definitely is not going to work. There's no way I could stuff this and make it into a pouf without these lumps. So what I'm going to do is undo the whole thing, and instead of 50, I'm going to probably go down to either 40 or 35. I'm going to try to test it out at 35 and see what it looks like. And then if I feel like I could add more, I'll probably go to 40, but I definitely don't think I could have made this work. So I will restart everything and I'll be back once I'm done. I have already gone through and done this. Oh, I thought something unwanted. I ended up doing 6 of these stitches and then I realized, you know what, maybe I should do the bigger portion bigger instead of these bottom ones because I'm assuming these are like the bottom and then the top and then, you know. I ended up doing, I think, 35 just because I was like, you know what, I think I would rather not risk it. For these next guys, it says 6 through 8. I'm gonna probably do 2 extra rows here, so we'll add in 2 extra rows there. For these next ones, I am going to do looser tension. So we have been doing 2, but instead of 2, we're now going to do 3 fingers. So I'll take the yarn through here. This is a weird transition, but I'm going to use 3. And then I'll just keep doing 3 for the next 4 rows. I think I'm going to do 4 rows. We'll see how this starts to shape up. I don't know what kind of a mess I have made here. Okay, here's what was happening. So basically I was going and going and going. You can see it got flat here. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. So I started tightening the stitches a little bit more. And I think that that was the way to go because now you can see it's like becoming a pouf properly now. And the thing is I went through and I started another one because I was like, maybe I'm doing something wrong. And I actually don't think so. I think because of the way that this yarn is, like it just naturally just flattens. Like I was like thinking about it. I was like, I could make a rug. I am realizing I could probably make another pouf, which is like really exciting for me. It would be really cute to have like 2 that I stack on top of each other next to my couch, but we'll see. I think I've gotten it to the height. I kind of wanted it to be a little flatter since my couch is a little bit lower on the ground. I'm gonna just start the weaving process of this into the middle. So I'm just gonna skip a stitch, stick it in, and then pull it through. And then I'm just following whatever side this yarn is. So it's on this side. So I'm going to skip a stitch and stick it in this way. And then I'm just going to keep repeating that. And then I like to tighten as I go because it gets really hard to see what strings Or what? I made my way around and I still... This is why you do it as you go. Oh my goodness, what am I supposed to... I'm gonna undo a few of these and then I'm just gonna tie more string to it and then I'll continue this. That was so uncalled for. You know what? I'm not too worried about it because it's got a booty hole. I'm not worried about it because look at how thick the yarn is. Like you can't even tell. But I will say this is not good. All of this bunching, I think is just too much. I'm gonna be very honest, the perfectionist in me is not having this. So we're gonna start over. I'm gonna go ahead and work on this guy. I'll be back once it's done. I'm actually so excited for this. Look at it, turned out so well. So here's how I did this to make it wider than the one from the tutorial I watched. Essentially, you start out with the 20. You still start out with the 20, but for these first like ones where you do the loops over 2 fingers, what I ended up doing, I stuck the 2 fingers in, but instead of grabbing like right here for this next loop, like making it as close as possible, I ended up going like a little bit further down to make this little extra bit of yarn here so that it ends up widening it. So I did that for a lot of these down here, which is why they're like flat. And then once I got to here, this is where I started bringing them closer. These are also, I think, where the 3s are. So for the 3s, I ended up doing them right next to each other versus the 2s, I did more of like something like this. The other thing I noticed is you don't really need to count the rows. You can do as many as you feel is right. Next step is to see if this hole will close. So hopefully nothing rips this time. It's actually looking so good. If this one tears, I don't think it was meant to be. I'm just going to just loop it again and then tie a knot to just secure it. I am going to leave this strand of yarn inside of it anyway, so I don't think it'll get untangled, but just for the sake of like it not getting looser. So I'm just going to leave that. It'll be stuffing. For finishing this guy, I am just going to go in again with the 2 fingers. I'm going to do closer tension, so like bringing the stitch closer in and then pulling through. So grabbing the tail right next to the previous stitch, tucking it through the next loop, pulling it through, holding onto it, dropping the next one, and then I'm just going to keep doing that until I've tightened the circle. I'll be back once it's done. The time has come for the magic to happen. I have finally gotten it to where I think, I don't know, I'm guessing at this point, but what we are going to do is close her off. So I've got this as the last live stitch. I think I'm only going to need like this much yarn, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. I have to keep my eye out for this live stitch because it might unfurl as I loop this through, but essentially just taking the tail end and going through all of these stitches to just secure them in place. I've made it to the last 3. I'm just going to loop it through all 3 of them, including the one that I was holding onto. I'm just going to pull it. Oh, apparently I was tightening as I went. Oops. It's okay. Now, so I think what I'm going to try to do is put everything into the white fabric so it covers the sides. So then I'll just put all this fabric inside of that fabric. Because look, the sides now have like this white background. Usually I would sew this into a like cover for the inside, like an insert. But she said she did it this way and I honestly vibe with this way. I'm just pulling up that white fabric so I make sure everything is tucked in. Your girl does not like clutter, so I didn't even own a single thing I could add to this. So we're just going to finish it off for now, and then I'm just gonna have to look into either polyfill or going back home and seeing if anyone has their own spring cleaning. And then now I'm just going to pull on that string to just tighten it, and then I'll just loosen it later. I've got a poof. It is a beautiful poof. It matches the blanket beautifully. Okay, I was gonna just end it where I was before, but I decided, you know what, let's fill it because you gotta see how it looks, right? So anyways, I bought 5 pounds of polyfill. I am a bit concerned about using the sheet so like loosely like this, but we're gonna just see if this works. If not, I'm gonna just end up sewing it just for like peace of mind. Polyfill. Oh, it expands. I was gonna say, this doesn't look like a lot. Oh, pff, I forgot about the fibers. Low key, I might just empty this, leave it in here, and put it in that one. Oh, I ended up making a second one. I forgot to say. This poof is so big. Okay. I'm also trying to account for the fact that it's gonna get like condensed as people sit on it. I'm gonna tuck the fabric in a way to make sure it covers any of those like open areas. Like I'm gonna just tighten the top now. The holes are really big. You know what? It is what it is. Dun, da, da, da. Okay, I'm not mad about it. I am mad about this though. Okay. I did not expect it to look this bad. Now I'm just going to knot this, and then I will just tuck this guy in. Okay, there's the poof. Now to sit on said poof. Okay. I think the clothes or whatever, the scrap fabric in there is actually like a really good cushion. It like jiggles. Better than sitting on the floor. This one's really, really good. I'm gonna fill up this one. Let's see if it matched because I kind of guessed. I'm gonna fill it up and I'll be back. I had to test out putting the bag in. Like, look at it. I'm gonna use the bag to just like hold everything in place and then just slide this in. This is why I like using scrap fabric, not polyfill. Nah, sounds like when you like have to waterproof a toddler's bed. I think I'm gonna keep the bag. We're just gonna leave it crunchy. Shape it. Oh my goodness, what is this? What is this? Look at the size difference. So I'm accepting the lopsidedness. I'm gonna have to wait until I get like more fabric, but I'm just gonna close it for now. No, that did not just happen. Again, not only did that string rip at that moment, but the camera also turned off and I just like, you know what, I can't handle this anymore. But this one is done. Let's, oh, okay. I don't know why I keep sitting like really weird on these. Very noisy. But I've now got 2. My goal was to make 2 flat ones that I could stack. But that's not happening here. These are ridiculously tall. But with that, I have now got 2 poofs. I'm gonna look into like a different way to fill the inside a little bit better. Also, I think this yarn is just not meant for this type of project, but it's okay. And with that, we are off to go be cozy on my couch.